Assalamu alaikum dear student. Today we are going to talk about our next lecture about the human anatomy, in which we are going to talk about the digestion process. So let's come about. Digestion is a process through which large, complex and non-diffusible food molecules are converted to small, simple and diffusible food molecules by the action of enzyme. Okay, this is the definition of digestion. Students, the food which we take, it is not useful for us because we cannot take our use from it. So firstly we have to digest it. Digestion can be done through two ways. One is the mechanical digestion, second is the chemical digestion. But in the mechanical digestion, there is a process of biting and beating the food molecule, large and complex and non-diffusible food molecules into simple and small and diffusible molecules, so that it can be diffusible, easy to be diffused into the blood in order to carry it to the every parts of the body, every tissues, every cell of the body, and give us useful use to in order to survive. Okay, so let's come to digestive system. Okay, student, first of all, when we take food, so the digestive system contain of this part. Okay, this is the our oral cavity, this part. Okay, this is esophagus from here to here. Okay, and this bag like structure is the stomach, and this, okay, this small, this portion, okay, tell this is called the small intestine, and this portion started from here to here. Okay, it is the large intestine. So when food enter to our oral cavity, this is all our oral cavity, so it is the zoom part. Okay, so the food enter to our oral cavity. This is our tongue, and first of all it is converted into small pieces through the biting of the 32 teeth, okay, of the incisor, molar and premolar. And the tongue work is a molder for the food, for the biting of the through the teeth. Okay, so there are three. Second is the chemical digestion. The mucus contain two types of digestion. One is the mechanical, second is the chemical. The mechanical digestion can be done through the biting of teeth, which is the molar, premolar and incisor, etc. And second is the chemical, which is done with the help of chemicals. These chemicals are secreted by a specific gland called the salivary gland. This present in these places. Okay, salivary gland is three parts, has three parts in our mouth. First is called the sublingual. Okay, so I can write it is here. Okay, there's no need of this, I have mentioned here. Okay, so this part is called sublingual salivary. Okay, this portion, the submandibular, and this portion is called like the here. Okay, parotid saliva. Okay, so this saliva is called sublingual here. Sublingual. This is called the parotid, which is located beside this portion. This is the parotid saliva, and here is the sublingual, and a little upper side, a little upper side is the submandibular. Okay, so these salivary gland secretes several chemicals which we call the saliva. Saliva is a combination of salt, water, salivary amylase, and mucus. So what is the function of salt? Actually, salt is a alkaline medium, so it work as a killer. Like we put salt in something to kill another thing, okay, some microorganism. So there the salt also work as a, so I write as a kill germ, okay. Second is the water is lubricating. Say third is the salivary amylase, okay. Salivary amylase, okay, I write it here, okay. It start breakdown of starch and glycogen and maltose, okay. So the salivary amylase does it break down the starch and glycogen and maltose, which is oligosaccharide. The starch is the polysaccharide, glycogen is the disaccharide, and the maltose is a monosaccharide, okay. So it convert into the maltose, okay. Third is the mucus. So mucus work lubricate the food, okay. So salt work is a kill the germs present in the food. Salivary amylase break down the starch and glycogen into small and simpler particles. Mucus work is a lubricating of the food, which convert into a bowel sperm in order to swallow through the esophagus, okay. So this is the all cavity. Next there is an important work, okay. So I will raise it here, is okay. Ula, okay. So it was the salivary gland, so I mentioned it before. So it is, this portion is the ula, okay. This is the tongue, okay. Tongue. This is the root of tongue, okay. This is called ula, and this portion is called, this is a short plate, okay. The short plate and ula. So when the food come in this portion, like this is the bolus of the food, so it come there, and this is the nasal cavity, okay. So the work of this ula and short plate is this: it prevent the food and from going to the nasal cavity side. Ula and short plate prevent the food to from going to the nasal cavity, okay. And next is there so now I am going to draw this portion, okay. So there is the trachea, and this is the esophagus. So when food come to this stage, so there is a doubt in order to, and the food goes through this path or this path. So the responsible way for the food is esophagus, but and this way is the airway. So to prevent the flow of food through the airway, there is another portion or the membrane which is called a glottis. A membrane which is present is the epiglottis, okay. So this is called the epiglottis. It work as a closer of the any of two ways, okay. So it is present here. So when there is the food bolus is coming, so this membrane jump down. Okay, so it looks like this. So I like this. Okay, this. So it close the airway and open the esophagus in order to prevent the going of the food through the airway. So but during respiration, this epiglottis cover the whole esophagus like this and open the airway. So it works as a closer and opener of both of the two ways. Okay, so the food come down here, so it goes through the esophagus. Esophagus is a long way for the food. It is about 10 inches long. Okay, 10 inches long. The food moves through it through peristalsis. Peristalsis is a contraction and relaxation of the esophagus like this. Like this is it move this and this and this and this. So like this is the esophagus. Okay, so in this the food is coming, so this is the food, so it moves like this. So the food come here, so the esophagus contract in order to push the food forward. So it contract and then release, then contract and then release, and this way the food passes through the esophagus. The next stage for the food is the stomach. So the food reaches to the stomach, and in the initial stage of the stomach there is a sphincter muscles present. Okay, so actually the stomach is divided into four parts. This portion is called, so I mention here as a this is the stomach. So it is divided into four portions. The first portion, this portion is called the cardiac part. This portion is called fundus, and this portion is called the body of stomach. And this remaining portion is called pylorus. So due to the cardiac part in the stomach, this sphincter muscle are called the cardiac sphincter. Okay, so these are the cardiac sphincter muscle. Okay, so when the food reaches the stomach, and the stomach it occurs like the alchemy, both mechanical and chemical digestion. So the mechanical digestion occurs through the walls of the stomach, and the stomach wall also move like this and press on the food to break down into small particles. And second is the chemical. So stomach is more involved in the chemical digestion of the food. And the stomach wall secrete hydrochloric acid, the intrinsic factor. Okay, so we'll say that HCl, intrinsic Sphincter, okay, pepsin, okay, other chemical also, mucus, gastrine, and other are also involved. So HCl is done the breakdown of protein and other molecules into small substances, and Sphincter is mainly involved for the breakdown of vitamin 12 in the next small intestine, and the pepsin is involved for the breakdown of protein into the amino acids, and mucus is involved for the lubricating of the walls of the stomach. So due to the hydrochloric acid, which is the powerful acid, it has a pH something less than 1 pH. So it is the strongest acid. So due to its danger, the stomach wall also secrete mucus, and the mucus lubricate the walls of the stomach in order to reduce the danger due to the HCl. Okay, and this is the gastrine air performs several functions in the stomach. The food is involved in about 4 to 5 hours. After this, some particles like aspirin, alcohol are absorbed, which through the blood vessels and carried to the liver for the carrying to the other parts of the body. But while some foods are converted into a mixture form and then passes to the another small intestine. While the opening of the small intestine, there are also some sphincter muscle which are called the pylorus sphincter. Due to this part pylorus, this is named pylorus. Due to this name, there are sphincter muscles which called the pyloric sphincter. When food passes to the small intestine, it converted into a mixture form. The small intestine is can be divided into three parts, which is, so I write here. Next is the part of the small intestine. So small intestine can be divided into three parts: the duodenum, and ileum. So the duodenum is started from this portion, from the pyloric sphincter till about this portion. Okay, so this is mainly involved in the chemical breakdown of food into small particles. So the duodenum name, it is a Latin word which means 12 fingers. So it is 12 inches long. Okay, whole small intestine is long as a 17 feet. Okay, it is long as 12 inches long. So the first part, it is C-like shape. It is also divided into 4 parts. One is the superior part. So this part is called superior part. Okay, superior, and then this is called descending. Okay, this is called the horizontal, and then another one is called the ascending part. Okay, so it is also divided into 4 parts: the superior parts, the descending part, horizontal part, and the ascending parts. It is mainly involved in the chemical breakdown of food into smaller particles. So there is the portion of, so where is it? There is the portion of liver. Okay, liver is a gland in human. So the liver secrete bile in the small intestine, which is responsible for the breakdown of fats into fatty acid and glycerol. Second, there is another leaf-like structure. Okay, another leaf-like structure which is called the pancreas. It also secretes several pancreatic juice which involve in the breakdown of protein into amino acid, the amino acid, the fats into fatty acid, and glycerol, the second is the carbohydrate into monosaccharide. So it is responsible, pancreatic juice is responsible for breakdown of pancreatic juice okay protein into amino acid, carbohydrate into monosaccharide, okay, fats into fatty acid and glycerol. Okay, so this is responsible for the breakdown of these particles. Okay, duodenum is actually involved for the chemical breakdown of food. The bile break down the fats into the fatty acid and glycerol. The pancreatic juice convert the protein into amino acid, carbohydrate into monosaccharide, fats into fatty acid and glycerol. And there are also secretion of several other chemicals which are done in the next part. So this next part is the of jejunum. Jejunum is actually means the empty part. Okay, so jejunum is not involved mainly in function of the empty part. Okay, so this is the site of completion of chemical breakdown of food in the small intestine. So okay, next is the ileum. Ileum is involved in main work of the small intestine. In ileum there are the secretion of three chemicals which are the sucrase, maltase and lactase. So in the ileum there are the there are the absorption of food into the bloodstream. So this secrete these chemicals sucrase, maltase and lactase which help in the absorption of food into the ileum. So okay, ileum is also involved in some finger-like projection like this for the absorption of food. So I take here is like this. This is the portion. So it is ileum. It consists of these like projection which are called villi. Okay, so I write as a single villi. Okay, so in a single villi there is the absorption of food into blood. So there are also the bloodstream passes by like this. So the food is absorbed into the bloodstream by diffusion process. Okay, and inside there are also small which is called microvilli, so it is just involved in the absorption of food into the bloodstream. After the important nutrients like fats, carbohydrate and amino acid are absorbed in the bloodstream, it is carried to the liver. Okay, so liver is main involved in the storage of food and the carrying of the food into every parts of the body. So liver also plays an important role. So we will make another lecture about the function of liver. So now the food passes from the ileum also to another portion which is called the large intestine. Okay, so large intestine is the portion from this portion to this portion. So it is about 5 feet long. So you will be wonder, large is equal to 5 feet. Okay, so you'll be wonder that the small intestine is 17 feet and it is 5 feet. How we call it the large intestine? It is called a small intestine. Not, it is due to its diameter, because the diameter of the small intestine is 3 to 4 times less than the large intestine. Therefore, it is called a large intestine due to the higher diameter from the smaller intestine. Okay, so large intestine is consists of 4 parts. They cecum this portion. Only this portion are called the cecum. Okay. This is called the cecum, and this whole portion from here to here, it is called the. So I will make another big diagram here. Like this. Okay. So this portion is called the cecum. This whole portion from here to here, it is called colon. The colon is and this is called, so this whole portion is called the colon, and this called is the rectum. Okay, and is called the anus. So these are the 4 parts. The colon is then divided into 4 parts. This one is called ascending colon. Okay, this one is called horizontal colon. This one is called descending colon. Okay, and this one is called sigmoid colon. So this is the ascending colon, this is the horizontal colon, and this is the descending colon, this is sigmoid colon, and this is the rectum, and this is the anus. In this small about 5 inches long is called the appendix. It don't have any function in the digestive system. So if it is damaged or if it cut, so it doesn't matter. Okay, actually it is removed in some bodies. Okay, so the large intestine is mainly involved for the absorption of water. So when the food comes from the small intestine into the large intestine, it is in the palm of a solid part. water part. So there are also a lot of water in it, and the bacteria and mucus are also present. So in this portion, the excess of water which are responsible for the survival of life, it is reabsorbed from it, and the excess of water and the mucus and the bacteria combine and move through it and come here. So will come here, so it is stored for several times. So in this rectum there are muscles. There are muscles which control the discharging of food outside. These are maybe reflex and non-reflex. Okay, involuntary and involuntary. Okay, so it is voluntary in the adult, while if they have to discharge the excess of food, so they are voluntary, they directly go to toilet. And it is involuntary in small kids, while they don't know about their discharging particles. So if they have the effect of discharging, so they discharge directly. So there are the nerves which control this. So it may be involuntary, which is done through the spinal cord. So in the small kid, it is done through the spinal cord, you can say. In the adults, it can done through spinal cord and also through the brain. So after this, the food reach this stage, so the message come from the central nervous system to the rectum. It is consist of two muscles, the external muscles. Okay, so it is this is called an internal muscle. Okay, and this is called external muscle. Okay, so when the message come from the brain, do you have discharge or not? So when this is the information of discharging, so it give the information to the internal muscle to relax, open. So when the internal muscle relax and open, so the external also open and relax. So the discharging of food is done through the ends. So student, I hope that you have learned more about my lecture. So please subscribe my channel in order that you receive more of my videos about the digestion and other topics.